kubimenya nibwo buzima twahisemo kukwizera nibwo buzima butubeshejeho. Hi friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Joy and I'm so glad that you're here. So today we're going to be talking about schools in the spirit of going back to school after a long break. We're going to talk about schools. So a little bit about me. I have attended in total 3 school systems. I attended school in Rwanda, I attended school in Kenya, and I have attended school in the US. So today we're going to be breaking down how different life in those school systems really is. We are going first to talk about school life. So I'm going to only talk about Kenya and the US because Rwanda, I was a youngling. I do not remember what happened in that school system. Like, I was just existing in that. But I have participated. I have participated in the Kenyan school system and in the US school system. So those two will be the ones I will focus on mostly. So, school life. First, in Kenya. Oof. Well, I attended a boarding school and a day school. In the boarding school, I was from 6th grade to 8th grade, I was in boarding school. And in boarding school, you're basically your parent. You are responsible for everything. You're responsible for having your homework done on time, your school uniform being clean, cleaning. Basically, you own an apartment, except it's full of other people, but you have to keep your section very clean and organized. So you have to make sure your bed is always made. You have to make sure your belongings are in a place that is safe and secure. You have to make sure everything is on you. If you misplace your thing, you cannot go cry to anybody. It is your responsibility. You're responsible for your own life, which was a great lesson. And then day school, it was basically from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So your entire day was spent in school. Your classmates, your school friends became your family, and your family became, I guess they were still family, but you just did not see them as much or as often as your classmates. So Kenyan school life was fun. It was interesting because it was my high school. It was a small school. It was a school where, because you spent so much time on the ground, you knew everybody. I mean, everybody. You knew the weird kid who was just like, in the back of the classroom reading a book when everybody else was making noise. You knew the prefect. You knew who the smartest person was. You knew what people thought about each other. You knew everything and anything about everybody, and people were just present. We did not have cell phones in high school, and if somehow you managed to have one and the teacher saw it, that issue is confiscated. The teacher took it, and you will probably see it in a couple of days or never, because there was a rumor in my school that when teachers confiscated things, they never returned them. They will go and use it. And one guy said that one teacher confiscated his hat and he met him outside of school and the teacher was wearing it. That was a rumor, but I don't know how true that was. So it could have been true or not. American school system, my goodness, life here. In high school, you walk in a building, you get searched first thing in the morning, and you are in there up until school is out. So school starts at 8 a.m. up until 2:30 or 3:30, depending on which school you attended at. My school, we got out at 2:30, and we were in school the entire time, basically in one building, just walking around from one classroom to another. I hated it. I hated it in the beginning because I could never figure out what my classes were. I was like the confused kid in the hallway, and somehow I ended up making a friend. This Malawi security guard, he was from Malawi. I was like, friend, you're my uncle now. You're from Malawi, I'm from Congo. We are best friends and you're my uncle. So he will walk me to my class. He will help me find my classroom, and after 2 months, I finally figured out how that works. So that's the school life. All right, many main differences between Kenyan school systems and the USA. In Kenya, we wore uniforms. I'm talking about the whole thing. We had a white shirt, navy blue skirt, black shoes, white socks with navy blue stripes on top. We had a sweater. We had a badge that had our school name on it and our motto on it. What was our motto? Ooh, education is hard to bear, but sweet to remember. Yeah, I'm still waiting for the sweet part. Anyways, we wore uniforms and we had to be in school 12 hours. We had 3 breaks. I want to say we had a break at 10 a.m. We had a lunch break at 12:30ish, and then we had a 3:30 break, and that's when we will be cleaning classrooms and just like, you know, catching up. And every Tuesday we had a prayer meeting. We called it CU, and then we'll go to like this big old hall, like the whole school will be there. But at the end, in the end, we had just CU for Christians, and then we'll have like Muslims go in another classroom, and then we'll have like the Catholics do their thing in another classroom. So they ended up having different religions, but when I first started there, it was only like a bunch of Christians, I guess, and we only had CU. So we'll go there, praise and worship, or everything, like testimonies. People are giving verses, and I remember this one kid, he was trying to say Jesus wept verse, and then he ended up saying John wept, and that ish was funny. Since then, they just called him John wept. That became his nickname. I thought that was funny. But yeah, we had CU every Tuesday. We had assemblies every morning. The teacher will come and give announcements because, you know, we had no computers, I guess. Yeah, they will come and give announcements in person. They will call assemblies whenever something big happened in school, or like, you know, somebody did something like, you know, not tragic, but something so bad that they needed the whole school to hear about it. So they will call assemblies whenever the teachers felt like it. And then we had a staff room, and that's where like all the teachers hanged out, and that was like, you know, the place you never want to go to, because every time you went there, you could just be going to drop off your homework, and then the teacher will be like, go get me a soda, and when you come back, the other teacher will be like, go do this for me. So basically you just like became an errand person whenever you ended up having to go in that office. And then we had like noisemakers list, which I was a permanent member on, and then we had like vernacular speakers lists, or whatever that meant. I think it was like Swahili speakers. They wanted us to speak English in my school like the whole time. I was also like a permanent member of that list, and then it was just like so much different. Oh, and then we had this lady sitting outside the canteen, and she would just like sell like snacks because we were in school the whole day basically. Transport, most of us walked to school, so we, regardless of where you lived, you walked to school because we just did not have cars. But we used to get bus money, and half of the school, instead of using the money they gave you for the bus, you will walk to school and then use that money to buy snacks, because it makes sense. It still makes sense in my head. Just walk and then buy food. It's easier and it's better that way. American school system. Okay, the differences. First, we had a school dressing code. I don't know if that's how you say it, but we had to wear anything that had a collar, and then it could not have any type of writing on it. It had to be a solid color. So I had like polos, the men's shirts. They are polos, and then you could wear anything from black to khaki at the bottom. So they could be pants, they could be a skirt, whatever you wanted. And the shoes, you can basically do whatever you want, which was very liberating, since I hated uniforms when I came here. So wearing anything you wanted to school, it sounded pretty good to me, but that lasted about 2 months. Then after that, I was like, oh my god, I hate this. Because when you have a uniform, you do not think about what you're gonna wear tomorrow or what. You just worry about like, is it clean for me to wear tomorrow or not? But when you have freedom to wear whatever you want, you have to like think about it, and you're like, what am I gonna wear tomorrow? And you spend like a day or 2 or hours in the morning trying to figure out what matches with what am I gonna wear. But when you were wearing uniform, in retrospect, I kind of liked the uniform because I did not have to worry about anything. All I had to worry about was it clean enough to wear today or not, something like that. And those another thing that was very different was the testing. So in Kenya, the testing system was basically they will give you a question and then they will expect you to write an essay or regurgitate what the teacher talked about in class. So they will give you just an essay question. But here we had multiple choice questions, and that was very surprising to me because when I first got here, I was in 11th grade. So when I would read a question and most of the answers just sound right, I'm like, man, I don't know what I'm doing. But after a while, like, it just made studying for an exam very much easy here, because in Africa, like, I would spend hours, no, I would spend like weeks studying for an exam because I had so much to memorize, so much information to remember. So props to everybody who is studying in Africa and they're in university or they are finishing their high school, because that issue is not easy. It's hard. You have to remember so much information. Your brain power is to die for. Your brain power is amazing. All right, you guys, let's talk about punishment. Okay, punishment in Kenyan school system, it was brutal, almost cruel. Like, if you're a child who used to get in trouble so much, you are familiar with the whoopings, okay? Like, they will like they had like this cane made out of like car tires. Like, I think they will cut like a rubber from the car tires and they will use that to hit you. Like, that ish had become my best friend. They will beat me with that thing every single day of every week. Like, I was just like, at this point, like, you need to realize, like, this is obviously is not working. You have hit me today, tomorrow, yesterday, and the day before that, and I'm still doing the same thing. Like, why are you not learning? So I told one of my teachers that he was a bad student because he kept on hitting me even though I was not changing my behavior. He was like, if I beat this child, I'm gonna kill her. So he decided to come up with a new punishment for me. Like, I guess it was like a specific punishment for me. He made me take off my shoes and then leave them in the staff room and just walk barefoot the whole day. And then he did that like a couple of times, and then he thought, like, if I do this, I'll probably be embarrassed in front of, like, the whole school, and then I will stop doing it, which is like, the normal thing to do. But no, I went ahead and convinced my underclassmen, the freshmen. I was a sophomore at the time, so I convinced freshmen to take off their shoes and walk barefoot the whole day because that's what the teacher had instructed. And then I convinced this one child who had the same shoe size as me to give me their shoes because, I was an upperclassman. They gave me their shoes and I just walked around wearing them. So then when the teacher realized that, he was like, you're not just problematic, like, you also have like go get your parent type of situation. He told me to go get my parent. Did I get my parent? No, I'm not stupid. I can't go get my parents. I'm gonna die in their hands. So no, I went and got my cousin who happened to pretend to be my dad. But that's punishment in Kenya. Like, punishment in Kenya, like, it was serious business. They will hit you and beat you again and again and again. Honestly, I just felt like, I don't know if it's just me or if every African person feels this. I feel like African teachers, they overreact. We do something so small, but they take it so seriously. My science teacher, I'm convinced that she missed her calling. She hates kids. I don't know why she's a teacher, but I recently learned that she quit her teaching job and she became a cop. I would hate to be the criminal sitting in the other chair. That's all I'm saying. American school system, when they're punishing you, they're like, do you realize what you did wrong? So they will have you sign paperwork. They'll be like, sign this that we have talked to you. And then they will send you to the student counselor's office, and then you will talk about your feelings and talk about how what you did, if you realize like what you did was wrong or whatever. But then it's like they don't realize, like, African kids, like, our feelings were either killed by the African school systems we attended before, or we just suppressed everything and we're just like, yeah, I realized that, okay, I'll sign it, I will not do it again, and then you proceed to do it again. I don't know if they realized that, but the punishment was basically going to the principal's office, getting talked to, signing a piece of paper saying that you will never do it again. But then again, kids here, they don't get in as much trouble as we did in Africa, because they're only there for a few hours though. But if you're spending 12 hours in school, you're bound to make some mistake, or you're bound to do something you're not supposed to be doing. You need to find a way to entertain your mind besides textbooks. That's all I'm saying on that. Things I enjoyed through all these school systems. So in Kenya, I enjoyed Swahili. I enjoyed Swahili tremendously. Like, to this day, it's been about 10 years and I am still fluent in Swahili. That's all I'm saying. Swahili is like my favorite language. And then things I really enjoyed in Kenya was like the friendships. Being friends in Kenya, it was not exclusive. It wasn't that, that person is my best friend, and if they talk to another person, I'll get mad about it. No. It was like everybody was everybody's friend, everybody was in everybody's business, everybody was just loving. It was like a huge family made of 200 and some people. So it was always fun because you felt like you belonged. They created an environment where everybody was accepted and everybody was just, you felt home. Even though like I was Congolese, half of the people thought I was Kenyan for the longest time. And then I found my best friend who was also Tanzanian, but we never felt like we were outsiders up until 2008 when they were doing elections and everybody was like, I'm Team Odinga, I'm Team Kibaki, and we were both like, what team are we on? And then that's when people realized we were not really Kenyans because we were not picking sides, because Wakamba was going with Musyoka and everybody was going with whoever was from like, their tribe or whatever. And me and my best friend, because she was from Tanzania and I was from Congo, we were like, we don't have a team. We don't know. We're just here. We are neutral. We're friends. And another thing I really loved about Kenya, it was just like it was like the whole experience of cleaning classrooms and birthdays. So whenever somebody had a birthday and it was like 3 p.m. and we were on breaks, we will take like a bucket of water, a bucket full of cold water. Instead of going to mop a classroom, we would dump it on the person who had a birthday. We never got them cake. That was fun for us, but we never really thought about like the person who was gonna walk home in wet uniform or how their parents are gonna react, because that really was it wasn't our concern. But it became a thing, so people would just hide their birthdays. We never really told people our birthdays because we were like, you want to know, but you don't want to know so that you can give me a gift. You want to know so you can pour a bucket of water on me when I'm supposed to be celebrating the day I was born. American school system, I loved that we got out of school early. We got out of school 2:30 and we started at 8. I loved that. I also love the fact that you can just keep to yourself. Like, not everybody needs to know everything about you. And they encourage like individualism, which was hard for me because I was so used to being from a collective culture, and it was tough for me to just like be thinking about myself. So like you'll find me like thinking about like the greater good of like every classmate when I'm supposed to just be thinking about me. And then another thing I really loved about American school system is the fact that we can all get A's in class without having the number 1, number 2, number 3, and one person. Like, they just encourage everybody to succeed together instead of like, oh, you have to beat this person. Like, they did not create the competition that Kenyan school systems create by like, having one person get 98 and another person getting 97, then lining them up in front of the school for everybody to see who is smarter than who. all that. So that I really liked about American school system. And another thing I really liked about American school system is like they encourage you to think about your future, further than just high school doors. So they have like school counselors who help you figure out what you want to do in the future, what colleges you want to attend, what things you need to do so that you can get to your goal. They help you like set goals and stuff. They help you think about more than just high school and how you're gonna get out of it. They also, both school system teach responsibility, because you're basically like, they're training you to be I don't want to say a decent human being, but they're training you to be a productive member of the society. So they're going out of their way to make you believe in yourself, make you stronger than you came in. So, and then another thing I really loved about American school system is the high school graduation. Like high school graduation is a bigger deal to me than college or university graduation, because I feel like that's like your first experience, being like the center of attention. They make you believe like you can achieve anything, and then they always invite like this outspoken person who's gonna like motivate your entire existence. We had like this radio host, I don't remember his name, I should probably remember that, but he basically told us like we can be anything. He brainwashed us into believing that we can do and be anything we wanted, and that was great, because that's like the kind of speech you want in when you're finishing high school. You want somebody to hype you up, and American school system does a great job of like finding somebody who's gonna come in and hype you guys up and get you ready for that first step of college. So I really enjoyed that, and I enjoyed a lot of things. I feel like my high school experience has been very enriched because I have attended 2 different school systems, as opposed to just attending one. I feel like my experience has kind of shaped me and how I see things. I feel like the Kenyan school system, what I really liked about it, it's the fact that we did not become afraid of exams or like have test anxiety or things like that, because you were either prepared or you were not. So if you're prepared, you pass. If you did not prepare, you fail. But even if you failed, there was always like somebody who did worse than you. I remember like this one time we did a chemistry exam, and then one classmate got like a -0.2 on the exam, and I remember like there was another one who got 0.2, and then everybody was like, oh my god, I can't believe you got a -0.2. And then I remember the guy saying like, it's okay, I got a -0.2, but that guy, he needed oxygen. He got 0.2, he got oxygen. So like there was always like a brighter side, because in Kenya like the final exam is what counted. So the midterm, the homeworks, all that were not added up to make your grade. Your grade was always your final exam. So then that's where like everybody would take life seriously. But here it's like everything adds up. So you mess up on one assignment, and basically that affects your grand total. But I like that one too, because I felt like my work is not going to waste. So I'm kind of like 50-50 on that one, 50-50 on the the grade thing, because it's fine if you like slack off and like pass your final exam, but it's also better that your work accumulates to a 1 grade, rather than working so hard throughout the semester and everything doesn't count. And if somehow you have a bad day on your final exam and you do bad, you fail the class. So I'm 50-50 on that one. I don't know exactly how I feel about that one. Anyways, thank you so much for watching my video. Please tune in for the next time. Be sure that you subscribe, like, and share my video. And next time we're going to be talking on a topic that is a little bit deeper, and I will give you guys a little bit more on where I come from, what I'm about, and things that things African. I will be talking about DRC Congo in my next video, so please watch out for that one. And thank you so much. May God bless you and have a fabulous week. Thanks much.